PM show nationwide, coast to coast, CRN Digital Talk Radio. Stay tuned for some money-saving ideas here, ladies and gentlemen, on the show. I'm your host, Michael Horn. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me, the great Jennifer from the Doug Steffen Show and also the Steel Mill, where she works her part-time job. And Jennifer, you had some breaking news stories for the weekend. What's going on?
Breaking news this weekend. Paula Deen has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Is she going to be okay? Is she under treatment?
I think so. I mean, usually you can control that with diet and, lifestyle changes. But I'm kind of surprised because she doesn't over-sugar everything, but she does over-butter quite a bit.
Oh, boy. See, I'm going to cut back on the butter. Last night,
she puts a stick of butter in everything.
I had some chips. I haven't done chips in a while, and you should not eat these things at night. They're just pieces of salt.
And you should not eat them dipped in butter.
Well, I didn't have them dipped in butter,
Okay,
but they were salted, and it was just a little too much for even my cast iron stomach to handle, ladies and gentlemen. It was just really something that was pretty bad, I'll tell you that. Anyway, Heather Locklear's family wants her in rehab again, ladies and gentlemen, and they were making some statements. They have her checking into they want her to check into a medical rehab facility as soon as she's out of the hospital where she was taken here over the weekend, and she's resisting. She's resisting, and she's a very lovely lady. I think she's like 50 now, and still looking very nice. And the sources with the Heather Locklear family have told the people over there at TMZ that she was has not been an isolated incident. She's been struggling with prescription drugs for a long time. In fact, the sources say that Heather checked into an LA area rehab facility last October and stayed there a couple of weeks. And Heather's family wants her to go to a medical facility this time around, not a rehab center. But so far, Heather says no. And Heather's sister called 911 on Thursday, shortly in the afternoon after 2 p.m., and said she had taken a dangerous mixture of prescription drugs and alcohol, and she was hospitalized in serious condition. What is bothering this woman? She hangs out with rock musicians, and that's the problem.
Well, she was with Jack Wagner, who's a soap opera star.
Jack is a good guy. I used to star with him I, ladies and gentlemen, was in General Hospital when Jack Wagner was there as Frisco and Blackie.
She
and I was
called
there.
things off, though, just recently. And then about a week ago, she was at a Laker game, I believe, and they caught her on camera where her friend was actually trying to pull the alcohol out of Heather's hand.
Well, she's currently in the ICU of the hospital in stable condition. So
someone else to keep in your prayers, Gene Hackman.
What happened? I love Gene Hackman.
The details are pretty sketchy, but he had an accident. And
what do you mean by an accident?
I don't know. He had an accident, was airlifted, so I'm imagining some sort of traffic accident. But details are still rolling into our news center at broadcast time.
All right. I love Gene Hackman, so let's hope everything...
Good thoughts for him. And John Edwards also.
John Edwards, the guy who was screwing around on his wife, when...
He had to actually get a reprieve from his court hearing now because he's got a life-threatening heart condition that needs treatment. He wasn't even supposed to travel, but he did appear in court on Friday to represent himself.
So there you have. That's the latest. Why are you giving the news instead of Eric Joseph, who normally is in the newsroom?
Because he's not speaking.
Oh, okay.
We had too much fun at the Taste Awards last night.
That's good. All right, so that was very good. There was that lady there, this cheese impresario, right?
Yes, Barry Lynn, the cheese impresario, was there.
That's good. Now, Hulk Hogan is in the news, and this is a big story right now because he is going under the knife. Apparently, that very famous mustache that he is shaving it off. That'd be like someone like me.
Yeah.
Shaving off my mustache. I'd walk in here and no one would recognize me. I think little Spanky McFarlane came down the steps.
Do you know that there's a mustache club for men?
Is there really?
And they're all upset that he's shaving his mustache. So I think that you should join.
I'm not a member, but I should join.
You should join. You could be the president.
It is probably one of the most famous mustaches in the universe, the Hulk Hogan job. And he says he's finally ready to shave off his mustache because of a movie. Mm-hmm. Hulk announced his plans to shatter the space-time continuum in Florida yesterday, telling TMZ that he's getting ready to go on some auditions, getting ready to shave his head and his mustache. That's going to be real scary.
Hopefully it's not for a role in The Nanny Part 2.
Hulk also said he's all better after his dental surgery. I didn't know that he had dental surgery. The doctors operated to remove a metal tack from his mouth. How did he get a metal tack in his mouth is what I want to know. Does anybody know about that one? Maybe we shouldn't ask any questions.
Hammering a tooth back in his head, maybe.
Anyway, they're going to clean up the surrounding infection, and so I don't like to talk about dental stuff. It makes me weak in the knees. Stone Cold Steve Austin, since we're talking about some of the greats in wrestling. Before there was Tim Tebow in the NFL, there was Austin in the World Wrestling Emeritus. You remember that, the WWE? And now the Steve Austin says he's willing to surrender his iconic numbers to the NFL star, 316 of those iconic numbers, pending one giant condition. Stone Cold said the numbers have a special meaning created with the famous Bible verse back in the 90s to humiliate his enemies. Austin 316 says, I just whooped your rear end, as you recall. And Steve Austin says he's watched Tebow's Mile High Miracle this last week, and he was blown away when he learned Tim threw for exactly 316 yards in the playoff victory. So now Austin says Austin 316 still rules, but if Tebow can throw for 316 yards again this weekend, then hell, he can have the numbers.